Hello. This is going to be one of my more unusual videos, but one I feel needs to be talked about. I posted this in the support server already, but the more I think about it, the more disturbed I am about this entire process. These two lines say a lot about the psychology of the individual that has had to make this type of decision. That is going to be the focus of this video. I may have to tap the screen here and there to keep it on while I'm talking, but if I do, this is what will happen. This is really a lot of information in these two lines that get overlooked, in my personal opinion. Psychology of trading is extremely important, and for an individual to end up in this situation, to make this kind of decision, is disgraceful. This is a professional trading group. The fees for being in this group, I should say for receiving their signals, since the group itself is free. But the signals are literally 1/3 the amount of what I have to invest across every single exchange I'm on. That's quite a significant monthly fee for the privilege of having a professional trader give you signals. Price equals expectation. And with prices this high, so are the expectations of success of the service. A lot of thought went into the prices I charge before I even went online. A lot of psychology went into that to determine the right price. I'm a member of a large number of different trading groups like this, mainly so I can keep a track and pulse on the market itself. Trying to determine a fair value and fair price is difficult. A lot of research went into this, and a lot of considerations took place. I've had subscribers tell me that they would easily pay double or triple what I charge. The expectations, though, of what that would mean makes me simply not want to. My expectations of my own services are already extreme enough. Charging $75 a month, in my opinion, is simply too much. It gets away from the core value of what I want to accomplish with Jackrabbit, which is to teach how to trade properly. Knowledge shouldn't be overpriced. There needs to be a balance between the price charged and the expectation of what is received. That is where I see the psychology of this trader. This individual paying $300+ a month for a service. His expectations are not to need to learn how to trade, but rather to expect what he believes to be a professional to trade responsibly. The mere fact that he has taken a 75% loss tells me he got told along the way that the markets are going to recover. Just hang in there. Just trust me. That is just the beginning of the problems I have with this entire situation. This individual doesn't know the personal situation of this investor. The signal provider can't say with a surety or any knowledge at all that this investor isn't using their life savings or is in fact using money that can simply be thrown away. Given that these signals are quite substantially priced, if you use a basic, simple equation that the signal is 1% of the total budget, this individual has at least $50,000 invested. That is a lot of money to lose 75% of, even if it can just simply be thrown away. And I really don't think that is the case based upon these two lines. I personally believe this individual is seriously contemplating not trading again. It's hard to recover from this kind of a loss and want to continue trading. Most investors, when faced with this situation, leave the market. Some permanently. Some may return after a year or two. But it's very rare to have someone return after this kind of a cataclysmic or catastrophic loss. I say this from my education of having multiple degrees, all of which focus on psychology as a base premise of my work. There's a lot here, both from the standpoint of the service that was offered and the expectations of the individual putting his trust into the signal provider. This type of a professional service should not accept these type of losses. 75% of an entire portfolio is a nightmare, when each position should be no more than 1 or 2% of the entire budget. Even with an accumulation approach, like what I use and teach with Jackrabbit, there's always risks. Those risks have to be carefully considered. This individual put his trust in a service that did everything for him. He had no understanding of anything that went on behind the scenes. I find that very disturbing. I find it disturbing that he was convinced that the signal provider had enough skill that he didn't need to lift a finger in protecting his own assets, protecting his own money. I find it disturbing that he spent at least $300 a month for professional service to end up with this type of result. This is inexcusable. This is why I personally don't do signal provision services. I don't want somebody coming in not willing to learn how to protect their own interests. It's always been my emphasis from the beginning that every person coming into Jackrabbit understands their risks, learns how to see their risks, and evaluate their risks on their own personal situations. That they understand there is no magic bullet in trading. It's not set it and forget it. It's not set it up and the money train just kicks in on its own. It's not get rich overnight, because that doesn't happen. That's not reality. There's only one guarantee in the market, and that is sooner or later you are going to lose money. You're not even guaranteed that you're going to make any money at all, no matter what type of strategy you purchase. Zero guarantees, none. If I could guarantee that you're going to make money, then I would be a multi-millionaire right now. And I'm not. Because I can't guarantee you're going to make money, because I can't see the future. I can't see your financial situation. I can't decide for you what's best for your money. Only you can. Only you know your financial situation. Only you know how much you can really risk. Even if you hire a professional financial planner to help you budget out your whole life down to the last penny, they are still never going to understand your personal situation the way you do. There is no excuse for this at all, ever. Any service that even remotely has this kind of a situation should really be reevaluated. Price equals expectation. As an educator, my emphasis is making sure you learn how to trade. Not for me to trade for you. My emphasis is to teach you and to provide the tools for you to make the best decisions you can about your personal trading, your own personal financial situation, your own personal risks, all the things I don't know and can never know, because I don't know the type of lifestyle you live in. I don't know your environment. Such matters are even more difficult when you're internationally based. I have subscribers from one end of this planet to the other. Different ethnicities, different cultures, different beliefs, different living standards, and different socioeconomic policies. There is no possible way I can or should try to make financial decisions on such a wide and broad scope. That really is the emphasis of what I see in these two lines, given this professional signal service. The amount of trust this individual placed in their signal provider is scary. The amount of abuse and lackadaisyness the signal provider took from this individual is disgraceful and disgusting. This is literally taking a customer for granted in all the worst ways possible. This subscriber matters to this group, or at least he should have. This signal group should have been staying on top of this. The signal provider should have been watching this account closely and making the decision to when to just take the losses very early on. Get out, shut it down, and wait. It's easier to recover from a 1% loss on an asset. It's almost impossible to recover from a 75% loss. Scope and scale matter, and this demonstrates both the scope of incompetence of the signal provider and the scale of inappropriateness that existed within this service. I could probably go on, but I don't know if there would be a benefit to that, as I've said what I really needed to say. As much as I appreciate each of my subscribers' trust in me, I want that trust tempered with the reality that there are no guarantees in the market. There's no magic bullets, no get-rich-quick schemes. There are going to be losses. I'd rather have trust that each of my subscribers know they're going to learn how to trade for their own personal situation. It would be nice if they all magically got rich, but realistically, that's not going to happen. Nobody is going to magically get rich. It takes work, time, and patience. There are no free rides in the world. Every loss has a price, and it's not just the money of the loss. It's the psychology behind the loss that is just as important. And for someone to make this kind of a decision, the psychology is devastating. I've probably rambled too much on this and repeated myself equally as much, but this is important to me. Never, ever trade more than you can afford to lose. Always consider each trade one step away from losing everything. And in order to properly profit in any market, you must be willing to lose everything you have invested. If the money you have invested doesn't meet all three of those circumstances, you have too much invested and need to reduce your risks. Trading is slow, monotonous, and boring. If you're sitting on the edge of your chair worrying about a candle going up or down 20 pips to make a profit, you've taken on too much risk. If you can't sleep well at night because you're worried about a market crash and losing half of your portfolio, you have too much risk. Trading needs to be to the point that it doesn't affect your life in any way, shape, or form. If you can't say that about your trading, then you need to reevaluate your trading. That's not easy, At some parts of the world, the only thing you can do is trade for survival. Trade to pay your bills. Trade to put food on the table. And that's a difficult environment to be in. The thinking process is entirely different. I've covered that aspect of trading before, and it's not something I wish on anyone. This individual may have been in that situation, in which case, the money he lost is the least of his worries. In conclusion, trade safely, trade smartly, and always trade sustainably. Don't be in a rush to get into the market, because the market will be there tomorrow or the day after or whenever. And if it isn't, and you miss the crash, all the better for you. Markets go up and they go down. Trying to plan them is impossible. Trade safely. Trade smartly. Until next time.